Hello everyone, welcome back to Bridgemaster. This is part of my ongoing series, just play through some Bridgemaster puzzles, or problems I guess you would call them. I'm not good enough to go through the world-class ones quickly, but this is going to be a world-class video. We made it through 6 and couldn't find the solution to 5, sadly. I had to ask Fred for help. Today we're moving on to 7. Three spades, okay, that's meaningful. Already, this is a very suspicious holding. We had, in a recent one, I don't remember if it was an advanced, I think it was an advanced one, where, like, West led the Jack of Spades, King, Queen, X were in dummy, and I had a stiff. And it was important to keep East off lead, so we ducked. We're going to duck here also, but for a different reason. The issue is, well, let's count tricks. We have 7 clubs, 2 diamonds, 9 tricks. We need 3 more. We can certainly set up a heart if we want. That would be 10. And a spade, we could take what's called a roughing finesse, where we play the king, and if East plays the ace, we rough, otherwise we discard a diamond. In that way, we could set up a spade to pitch a diamond. That would be our 11th trick. But then we'd have like ace, king, X of diamonds opposite 4 small diamonds, and no way to avoid losing a trick there. So we would only have 11 tricks. The issue is, I think, if you play the king here, and East plays the ace, you'll rough and you'll be perfectly happy, and that'll be great. The real danger is, what if you play the king and East lets you win the trick? Remember, you're always going to get a spade trick anyway, so winning it now versus later is not any better. However, you have to find a discard from the south hand. And the option to discard something from the south hand on a spade winner is not to be looked at lightly, right? East has bid 3 spades, right? So where's it? Yeah. So we know not only does East have a lot of spades, he doesn't have many high cards in the other suits. So we can sort of tentatively place the ace of hearts with West. It's very likely to be there. If East had 7 spades to the ace jack and also the ace of hearts, he would probably just like take a shot at opening 1 heart, frankly. So anyway, if we can lead a heart from the south hand toward the king third, West will be faced with a very difficult decision. He can play the ace immediately, but then the king and queen of hearts are both winners, and we can pitch a diamond on one of them. And one of the spades will be a winner too, and we can pitch a diamond on that. And we'll lose no diamonds and 1 heart. Or West can play low, we'll win the king, and then we can pitch our queen of hearts on a spade winner, and hope to lose only 1 diamond. The name for this is called Morton's Fork. I don't know what Morton it's named after, but a fork as in a decision between 2 equally unpleasant choices. I don't know whether it's a fork in the road or a sharp fork that you're unhappy to be sitting on. I don't know. I don't think you're sitting on the fork. But anyway, so playing the king here, if East wins, we have a problem. We have to take our pitch on a spade immediately, and we haven't yet made West commit to whether he's playing the ace or not. So we have to play low here and rough. We can take the finesse later, no problem. I believe we may as well draw 1 round of trump here. I don't think I need hand entries for anything, and the 5 of clubs is not a dummy entry. But I'm going to need both of those dummy entries, aren't I? Maybe not. Maybe I actually should draw 2 rounds of trump. Because if East were to have a singleton heart and 2 clubs, it would be rather embarrassing. Can I afford to do that? cash a club ending in hand, heart up. If West pops... Yeah, the issue is if West pops on the heart and leads a diamond, I don't have enough dummy entries to establish the spades and also cash them. So I think I can't afford to play another club here. I have to play a heart, and go down if West has 7 hearts to the ace. But, like, he doesn't, probably. Hopefully. Looks like not. Now that that has held up... at this point, I can and should cash a club. Because I only need to get to dummy one more time. Lead the spade, roughing, as East plays the ace. Cross over, and get rid of that heart. Now we play 2 rounds of diamonds. Has something gone wrong? Or is the diamond good? I wasn't really counting. Okay, good. It was. Somebody must have pitched one when I wasn't looking, which was like the whole time. Because it doesn't matter at that point. You don't have to count. You're just committed to like the only thing that could possibly work. Yeah, so this is a Morton's fork against West, where we have to make sure we don't play the spade too early. The spade winner too early. I predict if we were to play the king of spades, East would duck. Because if East wins, we can still make it. But he shouldn't. Okay, cool deal, cool deal. I sort of remember that one. Like, as I've said before, I played these hands a long time ago, and I remember snatches of them, but not all the details. Some I remember more than others. What's going on here? There are very obvious transportation problems. Difficult to get back and forth between the two hands. One, two. If we could take 4 spades, which would be easy, just lose 1 and then win 4, we would have 8 tricks. Oh, yes, I recognize this kind of hand. I don't know if I remember this exact hand from Bridgemaster or hands like it that I've seen in various columns. So the issue is, that you don't have time to attack both spades and clubs for extra tricks. Or, for that matter, diamonds. If you go after spades, you're definitely going to get those tricks. You'll get 4 spades, 2 hearts, 2 clubs. And if you're lucky, maybe some more tricks because the queen of clubs falls. But can we make it without luck? Well, you could take the club finesse. But if East has the queen, you're going to take no clubs instead of 2. And they'll still take a bunch of hearts and a bunch of diamonds. So that's no good. If you just attack diamonds directly, they attack hearts, and they get there first. They get 3 hearts and 2 diamonds. So what you can do is observe, I guess, how would I describe why this play works? Also, do I have to cash any spades here? I probably do, right? What I want to do is cross the ace of diamonds and then throw away the ace of hearts on the ace of clubs, king of clubs. I'm really bad at saying the right suit. Cross the ace of clubs, king of clubs throws away my ace of hearts. That way, if they attack hearts again, it's dummy who gets in instead of declare. Right? And that almost works. The problem is, if they let dummy in, you lose 1 club, and then, well, better to count how many winners you've had, right? You've won 2 hearts, and you've won 6 of Dummy's 7 clubs. But at that point, that's only 8 tricks, so you have to play a diamond, and then they cash a bunch of hearts. So what you have to do is cash a spade, pitching a diamond. Yeah. I think you could afford to cash the king here as well, right? There's no reason to, but you could. Maybe there is a reason to. I don't know. I think it comes out the same. So we cash the king and ace of clubs, pitching that heart, changing which of us is going to come on lead when they attack hearts. And if they don't attack hearts, I just have plenty of tricks, right? I can afford to lose a club, a spade, and 2 diamonds. I don't mind. So by setting up Dummy's clubs as a threat, I basically made the opponents ignore their hearts. And I guess that's the reason that you can't cash the king of spades, is that if you try this, they can actually, and spades are 6-0, sorry, 6-2, they can actually attack spades over and over. Before you set up diamonds, maybe? No, you have 4 stoppers. Surely that's enough. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the idea, is you have to pitch your heart on the club winner to make sure you don't win a trick and get stuck in hand. You'd rather be stuck in dummy. The heart holding is very, like a lot of stuff in Bridgemaster, even if you don't remember the specific deal, as long as you've seen the theme before, the hands are often so... what's the word? They're crafted to point you in the right direction. Like, this heart holding is really oddly specific. Why do I have the queen deuce in dummy when the 3-2 would be the same, right? And all the other holdings are just pretty bland, right? Queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. There's no variation. The variation here draws the eye and makes you think about, what could I do with the queen that I couldn't do with the 3? And the answer is you could pitch the ace of hearts. So it's there to help you look in the right places. It draws the eye to the stuff that needs your attention. I'm in 5 hearts after East bids 4 spades. Okay. I guess East is going to overtake this with the ace and lead a spade back. Yeah. So what do I do about that? Obviously, we have a potential loser in hearts and a potential loser in diamonds. West probably has the queen of hearts. So we could rough high and take a heart finesse against West. But what if that heart finesse works? You're still not really home, right? You'll be stuck in dummy with king jack of hearts remaining, and West has queen x. You have to get back to hand to repeat the heart finesse. I'm thinking aloud here, by the way. This is not one of those hands where I recognize exactly what to do and I'm just trying to describe it to you. I think we're supposed to pitch a club here. Because that makes it easier to return to hand, right? But why does pitching a club actually help? What am I high? Is it a minor suit squeeze against West at some point in the ending? How do I make that work? I can't, right? Because I can't get back to my hand. It's the same problem. Ruff high, finesse, wins. If you try to ruff a spade back to hand, West will over-ruff, and then you're relying on diamonds. And the squeeze will be impossible. Pitch a club. Then you can ace of clubs, club ruff back to hand. But you can already, if you ruff high, play finesse, ace of clubs, king of clubs, club ruff back to hand. I guess the issue is, though, what if the clubs are 4-4? No. Could East have 5 clubs? It sounds crazy to ask this question because we know he has like 7 or probably 8 spades. But I guess it's possible he could have 5 clubs. If we ruff high and take the club finesse, or heart finesse. Wait a minute. We only have 6 hearts opposite 3. I somehow thought that the opponents only had 3 hearts between them, but they have 4. I don't know. It's the hand is set up to make you think pitching a club here makes sense, but I don't understand why that would be. Oh, what if... Is there no... Well, no... If I ruff with the ace, take a heart hook. I mean, if it loses, the hand is sort of boring. You just hope the diamond split, basically. If it wins, you can try club ruffs back to hand to repeat it. I guess we should... I don't think pitching something makes sense here. It's way too likely that West has actually queen 4th of hearts, and there's no way we can avoid losing a heart. And if we pitch something now, we're just giving up in that case. Whereas if he has queen 4th of hearts, we may still be able to recover. Yeah, okay, queen 4th. So the question is, how do we recover? We have to lose a heart now. Do we? There's some universe where we could avoid that. It's sort of hard to live in that universe, I feel like. We know he has 1 spade and 4 hearts. There is a thing called a smother play, where it looks right now like we can only afford to finesse hearts once. Right? Lead low towards the jack. After that, we'll have to play the... If I got back to hand somehow, I could finesse hearts once. Which I could probably do by playing like ace-king, ruff a club. And if you play hearts again, well, the king is going to have to be played from dummy no matter what. There is a thing called a smother play, which could let us ruff a heart a second time. I don't think we can make a smother play here, but I'll describe how it works. The idea is you take the heart finesse after getting back to hand somehow, leaving just the king and dummy. And then You play a bunch of stuff outside of trumps. You never touch trump again. You reduce the south hand to 2 hearts, which will be, fairly easy. Well, I mean, it won't be, right? That's one reason this is impossible. Yeah, okay. So we can't make a smother play here. But if you could, let's say there were 4 clubs here. We could play ace clubs, king clubs, ruff a club, get back to dummy, ruff another club. Or wait, do I have the right number? Loaded jack. I do have the right number. I want to have 1 more than dummy, which I can get by a single ruff. So, ace king clubs, ruff a club. I have 3 and dummy has 2. Lead 1 to the jack. It holds. I have 2, dummy has 1. Now cash everything else and then lose a trick to east. Oh, maybe that does work. Maybe we are making a smother play here. Because a spade is something we're sure east will be the one will win, right? So if we can arrange for those 3 diamonds to be winners, if West has at least 3 diamonds, then the smother play works, right? That seems much better than some weird... I don't even know what it would be. Yeah, so if diamonds are 3-2, then we can afford to just lose a heart, and then the diamonds will come in, right? But what if they're not? What if West has 4 of them? In that case, I think, is when we can make a smother play. Let's see if that works. I think that's the right idea. There's no way West is over-ruffing here. I mean, it's not impossible. East could have 8 spades. Or wait, only 3, 1, 1? Yeah, 8 spades and 5 clubs. Seems rather unlikely. And if that is the case, we would, I guess, not be winning no matter what. We could cash a diamond first to test it, I guess? Okay. Now we know East doesn't have 5 clubs. So we can play a club and we know this isn't getting ruffed. We take this finesse and we play ace of diamonds. If both of them follow to this trick, then I can just play king of hearts and cash the last diamond. West will ruff or not, but eventually he only has the queen of hearts left. And he can ruff it whenever he wants, but I'll win the rest of the tricks. However, as predicted, because this is a world-class Bridgemaster puzzle, East shows out. West has 4 diamonds. So now we can finally make the smother play I was describing earlier. We know West's last 3 cards, right? It's the queen of hearts, a little heart, and a diamond. If I play a diamond, okay, here are the 3 things I could do. I could play a heart. Then West would have the queen of hearts and a diamond left. He would win a diamond return and draw and win the last trump, or he would ruff a spade, over ruff a spade, and then play the last heart, forcing me to play a diamond, losing. And if I play a diamond, he wins that, and then has a trump to win. I think I just said the same thing twice. But if I play a spade right now, discarding, don't ruff this, because West would just over ruff, and then draw trump, and we have a diamond to lose. We pitch our diamond loser. East is on lead, and I get to ruff, but dummy doesn't have to ruff. That's the key point of the smother play, is the dummy can choose whether to ruff or not, based on whether West ruffs high or low. Both West and I have to ruff, but West has to choose between high or low, and that's how we choose whether to ruff or not as dummy. Nice. I'm glad I found this one. I don't remember ever finding a smother play on purpose. Like, I've done this hand before, and I'm sure I've failed it. And it took me a while to work around to it. But I finally realized that the smother play was the only thing that would make sense. So, does Fred have a diagram of the final position of interest? North's remaining spade, yeah. So East wins, and East leads a black card. Oh, it is important, I guess, that East can't lead a suit that dummy has to follow suit in either. I sort of forgot that little detail. But we knew he wasn't going to lead a diamond, so it was fine. So we play the 8, and what is West supposed to do? If you rough with the queen, I overruff, and then the 9 beats your 4 on the next trick. If you play low, dummy just discards the 6 of diamonds, and the king of hearts beats your queen of hearts. Whew, a smother play. Look at me go. 6 no trump. I mean, there's sort of some obvious issues with this hand. We have, well, I don't know, not issues. We have 8 major suit tricks and 3 clubs. If the clubs split, that's 12 tricks. What if they don't split? Well, the diamonds might provide a winner, but if we guess them wrong, or indeed it might be impossible to guess them right, then we would be in some trouble. So I presume, this being Bridgemaster, we can't just like cash the clubs and say, oh good, they're splitting, I'll take my 12. Rather, there's some like as we cash the I don't have any hints from the defense. I keep looking at this, but there aren't any hints. So there's a 2-loser squeeze that could make sense here. I talked about simple squeezes in the last episode, expert A-11 through A-15, I think. In a simple squeeze, you need to have only one loser. There are various kinds of squeezes that work with more than one loser. A 2-loser squeeze, I mean, there's multiple kinds of them. But here I'm imagining what... Who wrote the book on... Bridge Squeezes Complete was a really good book about learning about all kinds of squeezes, and I can't remember who wrote it now. Was it somebody named Root? Who wrote that? Bridge Squeezes Complete. Clyde Love, that's right. I don't know why I thought Root. I feel like there are bridge books by, like, does he have a bridge books by Root? Is that a person who exists? William S. Root is an author. Yeah, okay. Anyway, he wrote some introductory books. Mostly introductory. Bridge Squeezes Complete calls this a delayed duck squeeze, the kind that I'm thinking of. I don't know if it's right here, but it's what I'm thinking of. The idea would be, suppose that we somehow knew that West had 4 clubs and the ace and perhaps queen of diamonds. We don't really care whether he has the queen. I mean, if he doesn't have the queen, we would just finesse his partner for it. But let's say we don't know where the queen is, but for some reason we do know where the ace is. And we know West has all the clubs, which we could find out by cashing 3 rounds. Or 2 rounds, even. Then we could get to a, 4-card end position? 3 even, I guess. Where... Wait, would 3 be right? Yeah. No, I think I'm missing something here. That doesn't work. Can I get to a 2-card end position? I guess I can. Maybe? Maybe not. Maybe it needs more clubs around. Well, it can't be a 2-card end position because we have to have a loser, right? So in a 3-card ending... But in a 3-card ending, West could just hold on to ace, queen of diamonds, and a club. Right, but 1 club is not enough. It would have to be 2 clubs. No. If I had cashed ace, king, queen, 1 club would be enough. Right, so I have to retain a club trick. I think it has to be the king. I can't keep the ace. That won't work. So a 4-card end position where South has king, jack of diamonds, and 2 little clubs. And North has king, x of clubs, and any 2 other cards. Does that work? No. Because West could keep 2 diamonds and 2 clubs. Huh. So, you know what? I'm going to go get my book. Let me read from you the section about delayed ducks, VRB. Let me again recommend this book if you are an advanced bridge player looking to study on squeeze technique. It is very old, and the writing is more flowery than usual. When was this published? 1959. But the technique is all still very relevant today, and I feel like it's presented more clearly than in many more modern texts. Focus at least on parts I didn't find that useful. Anyway, so what does he say about the 2-loser squeeze, delayed duck? The last of these might be called the delayed duck squeeze, intimately related to the elementary simple squeeze. All conditions for that squeeze must be present, except there are 2 losers and no way to get rid of it. Okay, so first of all, let's see, is that true? If I imagined that West had 4 clubs and the ace of diamonds, would a simple squeeze against him work? Assuming I didn't have, if I somehow had only 1 loser instead of 2. That's a good point. Let's imagine I could just lose a diamond here. I can't, but let's imagine I could. I could just lead a low diamond to the jack, and the defense would win the queen, and then do something else. Of course, in real life, they would continue diamonds and ruin me, but let's suppose that I could do that. Low to the jack, and then they switch. Would a simple squeeze against West work? Certainly. I would have only 1 loser, therefore. The king of diamonds would be a loser in this hand, and the small club would be a loser in that hand. Sort of, those would go on the same trick, and then you squeeze them out. Okay, so it should work here. What am I missing? Why? I would cash 8 major suit tricks, pitching a club. And then ace, king of clubs. If they split, congratulations, you've made your contract. If not, how many cards will I have left? I'll have played 8 major suit cards and 2 clubs. So I'll have 3 cards left. Yeah, I just wasn't counting. I have a lot of trouble visualizing, as I've said before, specific end positions. But this totally does work. If I knew that West had the ace of diamonds and all the clubs. So I don't really need to read any more from Bridge Squeezes Complete, because I understand the technique of how to apply. I just had to double check, I didn't seem to be able to make it work. I had to double check that I had the conditions right, and they are. Okay. So, yeah, if we got to that end position where I had 1 club and 2 diamonds, Dummy had a club winner and a club loser and something else, then West, who we're assuming we somehow know has the ace of diamonds, no, I need to keep the ace of clubs. It's not that I need to not keep the ace of clubs. I need to keep the ace of clubs. I need to keep the king of clubs as well, don't I? So that I have an entry to the club winner? What the hell? Huh. So I wonder if, like, East is going to be 5-5 in the majors or something, and that's the way I can figure out the club split without touching clubs. Doesn't look that way. Okay. So we know they both were 3-3 in the majors, huh? At least, in maybe I've made a mistake and Fred is just moving the cards around to annoy me, but in this universe anyway, the way I've played the suits, the opponents each turn out to be 3-3 in the majors. I still think it kind of makes sense to cash 2 hearts. Okay. So no help at all on the club situation. And the opponents have each pitched 2 diamonds. I mean, the good news is I don't think I've bungled my chances, all my chances of making the contract. Maybe I threw away some of my chances, and so Fred will punish me by making none of the others work. But for example, clubs could still be 3-2. I could still guess the diamonds, right? Although I have to commit to one of those 2 now, don't I? I don't know. I mean, no, that can't be right. Don't lead the queen. Club to the ace. So East has 4 clubs. Yeah, but this means if he has the ace, I'm going down when I could have made it. Right? That's what's going to happen. I'm going to lead the ace. He's going to jump. I'm going to lead a diamond. He's going to jump on the ace, and I'll be stuck on dummy to lose a club. Yeah. So how do I get some information without committing too much? I guess I can cash like 2 clubs before doing any of that other stuff. And I need to hang on to the queen. That's important. So now East is known to have 4 clubs. That information is easy to obtain. I can always find out which defender has 4 clubs by just cashing them. Cashing 2 of them, I should say. But if I play on diamonds, I'll have to guess. Right? Or I don't think there's a show-up squeeze against East here where, like, I could cash hearts and spades. The problem is when I cash the last spade, dummy has to decide before East does whether to throw away the club threat or a diamond. If I throw away the diamond, East comes down to the bare ace of diamonds and puts me back in dummy with clubs. If I throw away a club, East can also throw away a club. Then I can cash the last club and lead up to the King Jack of diamonds? But I'll still be guessing. Right? Well, wait a minute. Maybe I needed this ace of clubs. Because that provides an idle card for north. I can pitch a club from north. And I still have the entries, I believe, for the two loser squeezes I was thinking of. I don't know. This doesn't feel right. Because what am I pitching from south on the heart now? A club, I guess? But then the club threat in south is no longer any good. Well, maybe that's okay. Because I can do that after East discards, right? So maybe it is kind of a show-up squeeze against East. Yeah. So now we know East has the remaining two clubs, right? We can play a heart. And we know our club is never going to be any good now. We can throw it away. But since East has only two clubs, well, actually, since he has two clubs, not only, he has all the clubs, we know he only has room for one other card. So any diamond honor he has, we won't have to guess anymore. He'll be forced to play it. And that way we can succeed. Yeah. Ugh. So I got this one right, but I was too busy thinking about, like, imagining that I could know where the diamond honors are and then executing a squeeze against them versus using a squeeze to discover where the diamond honors are. And I still don't totally understand why I had to hang on to the ace of clubs instead of the king of clubs. The answer is because East was the one with 4. But what if West had had 4? I guess the point is a show-up squeeze against West can't work. Because I have to lead through East for the diamonds. Right? Knowing what diamonds West has after I lead a diamond from my own hand is not going to be helpful. Whereas knowing what diamonds East has after leading a diamond from dummy will be very helpful. So that's why I have to preserve the club threat in my own hand for the show-up squeeze against East, whereas the show-up squeeze against West is pointless. Let's see if that's what Fred thinks. If East has 4 clubs, you can squeeze East into guessing diamonds for him. Yeah. If East has 4 clubs, do everything that I actually did. Yeah, but this is the kind of funny thing about show-up squeezes. So they're also called count squeezes. a squeeze where you are just squeezing information out of a player, not actually making them discard a useful card. Right? I didn't need East to have only one diamond. If I knew he had the queen, I could have just led to small jack ace. But what you get out of him is the information that all of his non-diamond cards are clubs. So he's going to have to discard all of his non-honor diamonds to hang on to the clubs, meaning he shows you the diamond before you have to decide what to do. The thing about these show-up squeezes is that often there's a different line you could take if you knew the layout where you could succeed that you wouldn't be able to. The taking the show-up squeeze, playing the show-up squeeze takes that possibility away from you. Here, like, when you play King-Queen of clubs, don't you lose the possibility of a delayed duck squeeze against West? What if West is the one with 4 clubs and the ace of diamonds? The ace-queen, let's say, because if... Well, no, you still have to guess. Give him just the ace. Then, when you come down to the 4 card end position of ace-x, king-jack, West will still have 4 cards. Right? He won't be forced to help you. He can keep 2 diamonds and 2 clubs. Huh. So, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that the show-up is less likely, right? Again, or the delayed duck against... You need that the person with 4 clubs also has the ace of diamonds, right? In order for the show-up to work. The delayed duck squeeze to work. And you also need to guess who that person is, I think. No. You just hang on to king X of clubs, 2 diamonds, and a club in hand. So that works anytime the person with 4 clubs also has the ace of diamonds. A little bit under half the time, right? Assuming there was a 4-1 split, it works a little bit less than half of the time. If you play the way Fred is suggesting, you succeed anytime East has 4 clubs and at least 1 diamond honor. Or if West has 4 clubs and you can guess the diamonds. So I guess that's the point. His line also works even if the clubs and diamond ace are divided. As long as you can guess. So... I don't know. Is that really better? I'm not sure. I mean, this is good software. It understands the situation. The person who wrote it is better at bridge than I am, and probably considered this possibility, but didn't mention it, which is a little... means I can't quite understand why it's not right. So if you come down to a 3-card ending, club, diamond, diamond. 2 clubs and a diamond, and you're in dummy. Or ace of clubs and a diamond would be better to... King of clubs, club, and a diamond. And you're in dummy. If either player has... If whichever player has 4 clubs, also has the ace of diamonds, you succeed by playing a small diamond now. That's about 50% of the time. Really a little bit more. No, less, I guess. because whoever has 4 clubs is less likely to have the ace of diamonds. Yeah. So I guess just taking the finesse is more likely at that point, right? Just taking a guess in diamonds, that's 50%. That's better than the delayed duck squeeze. Since we can't find out who has the ace. If we could somehow find out who had the ace, that would be another story. But okay, the delayed duck is less good than taking the finesse. So you might as well go for the show-up squeeze against East. Which is like taking the finesse, but also with this extra side chance that you might find East with 4 clubs, in which case you can squeeze his honor out of him. So what did Fred... I agree with you now, Fred. I finally worked it out. Does he call it a show-up squeeze or a count squeeze, or does he not even mention what it's called? He doesn't mention. It says you can squeeze a diamond honor out of him. But yeah, count squeeze and show-up squeeze. They're the same thing, and they describe this. I think usually you call it a show-up squeeze if you're forcing an honor to be played. And you call it a count squeeze if you're forcing, if what they end up playing is a small card. Like, okay, let's say we had the ace queen instead of the king jack, and we were looking for the king. Obviously, we could just take the finesse. But if you could squeeze East into throwing away like 6 diamonds and then play his last diamond, you would know that West only has 1 diamond left, and you could play the ace dropping the singleton king. They're the same basic play, but you call that a show-up, you call that a count squeeze, and you call this a show-up squeeze. I think they're basically the same thing. Anyway, this last hand has gone on for far too long. Let's get out of here. Made it through another 4 of these, right? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.